Hi everyone, thanks for joining my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about the English policy that we set in 2021 at Uruf Primary School. Curriculum policy is a guiding principle that guides the curriculum activities in the school. There are two major types of curriculum policy that govern schools in Papua New Guinea, which is the national curriculum policy and the school-based curriculum policy. The national curriculum policy are set by the National Department of Education, whereas the school-based curriculum policy are set by the school board and the teaching staff within the school to guide their curriculum practices. In this presentation, I am going to talk about the school-based curriculum policy, which is English-only policy that we set in 2021 to use English as an only medium of communication in Uruf Primary School. Uruf Primary School is one of the remotest schools in Wongat district in Morobe province, Papua New Guinea. It is located along the Vatut River where motor canoe is the only medium of transport that is used for moving to and from Lay City. Most of the people living there are still living traditional way of life. They feed on garden food, fishing and hunting animals for protein. Education was not valued in that place. Even though the primary school established there for a long period of time, but it does not produce any public servant or any educated person in the community. The children who attended that school usually fail at the end of grade 8. In 2021, during my third year of teaching, 95% of the students failed the national examination at Uruf Primary School, and we were ranked as the last school in the district. Their teacher felt ashamed, and we called a meeting discussing the issue about why 95% of our students failed. We reflected and found out that all subjects were written in English, and students did not understand simple English, and that caused them to fail the exam. From there, we developed this English only policy in which English will be the only medium of communication in the school area to help students speak and understand English. In the beginning of 2022 academic year, we enforced the English policy that English should be the only medium of communication in the school area. We tell all the students that those who break the policy will be punished from every 3 to 4 every schooling days. School Representative Council, SRC, and the duty officer of the day were given responsibility to collect names of students who break the policy and give them punishment every afternoon. Each class teacher was also given responsibility of enforcing the policy in the classroom. During the first week, SRC and the duty officer was active in collecting students' names who break the policy by punishing them every afternoon. Other students fear punishment and started to speak English in the school area. In term 1, English policy was very effective and students were interested communicating in English both inside and outside of the classroom. However, in term 2, English policy was effective both inside the classroom and the old school as well, but in term 2, students were losing interest in speaking English. Through my investigation, I found out that the SRC and the duty officer was not effective in carrying out their duties. Some teachers were not enforcing the policy in their classroom. The administration was not working closely with the teachers. There were insufficient facilities and resources to boost the policy. Students' social background and their mother tongue have weakened them to speak English. These are the major factors that have contributed towards the failure of the policy. Factors that weaken the policy. 1 is mother tongue. In Uruf Primary School, students came from different cultural backgrounds where their mother tongue was the first language and was used everywhere, even in the school area as well. They are born with their mother tongue and had to speak English. We encourage them and even force them to speak English in the school area, but they feel shy and speak Tok Pichen and their mother tongue in the school area. They were not interested in speaking English and have negative attitudes towards learning of English language because they consider it as a foreign language and difficult to speak it. Mohammed Hossein too stated that most students have negative attitude in learning English language lead to failure in other subjects. All other subjects are taught in English, and when they find it difficult to understand English, all other subjects also become difficult to understand. Number two, social background. Social background refers to the environment that students came from have influenced their learning of English. Almost 95% of the students in Uruf Primary School came from communities where their parents are illiterate who does not know the importance and value of education. They were interested in doing gardening, hunting, and fishing as their everyday life. Their parents were not interested in education, so their children were not interested in learning English as well. According to Raymond 2012, lack of parental interest in teaching learning process and their lack of awareness regarding the education of their children are one of the major causes of students' failure. Number three, lack of adequate facilities and learning resources. Uruf Primary School does not have a library and other reading material that can boost students' interest in learning English. The teachers use the teacher's guide to teach, where students does not have textbook or other reading materials to look at, so the learning was boring. According to Bista 2011, stated that poorly equipped learning environment results in improper teaching and poor students' achievement. Also, NARI's nationwide study 2001 stated that children living in remote areas with lack of educational learning resources and facilities may remain illiterate. Lack of adequate facilities and learning resources in Uruf Primary School caused the students to lose interest in learning English. Number four, lack of adequate teachers training. Teachers in Uruf Primary School are all the product of outcome-based education in which they are not good in speaking fluent English. During class time, they read and write in English but usually explain things in Tokpichen. Even outside the classroom or during assembly time, teachers were not fluent in speaking English, so they speak Tokpichen, which gives the wrong example to the students. Teachers are role model. If they are not speaking and writing good English, how can they teach their students to improve? According to Menshaw 2008, suggests that teachers are the driving force in the school. Teachers' lack of English skills contributed a lot towards the failure of students. Lack of adequate school administration. The main cause of students and teachers not speaking English in Uruf Primary School is because of poor school administration. The head teacher of the school does not cooperate with the teachers in the process of teaching and learning. The head teacher there was incompetent of making the school atmosphere suitable to teachers and their students in terms of developing an adequate teaching learning environment. He does not administer and guide teachers on daily basis. Students and teachers are not forced to speak English or maintain good discipline during English language classes in order to foster the establishment of an English environment. Bill 2021, lack of proper administrative and instructional leadership input often contributes in poor quality of results. Evaluation, ways of correcting those failure for improvement in next year. What will you do next year to execute the policy effectively? The cost factors identified above need to be improved. A teacher is the very important person in the school that drives the school. A teacher is derived from the base word "ad", which means to control the whole body. When the head of the body is not functioning well, the whole body suffers. Likewise, a teacher needs to be effective and innovative than other teachers to control the school. A head of the body cannot survive of its own. It needs other parts of the body to work together to accomplish the purpose of the body. School is like a body in which a teacher is the head and the other teachers and stakeholders are other parts of the body. A teacher cannot work independently. He needs to work together with the other teachers and stakeholders to implement the English policy in their school. As the saying goes, we unite, we stand, we divide, we fall. Conduct staff meeting every month to monitor the policy implementation. Carry out awareness to the illiterate parents about the importance and value of education. At the school level, teachers need to use English as an only means of communication in the school. We have to do away with outcome-based education system, where it allows children to learn from their mother tongue in the elementary. This system causes the decline of education standard in our country. School administration need to provide adequate learning facilities and resources that can boost children to learn English. A library is a powerhouse which need to be built in Uruf Primary School. School administration does not need to sit down and wait for TFF along. They need to carry out school project or write proposal to MPs, NGOs, and other national and international donors seeking assistance. Community also need to take ownership by contributing money and other materials to build library for the school. Teachers are the policy implementers and the role model. They need to be serviced well for the successful implementation of the policy. According to GOR 2021, teachers need more training for the successful implementation of the new policy. Teachers college and university offering teacher education program need to prepare student teacher well before graduating them. There is a need for government to provide fund to colleges and universities for better training. Also fund money to provinces, districts, and clusters to run in-service for field teachers for effective implementation of the policy. To finish up, English is the only language that is used all around the world today for communication, education, business, media, and technology, and so on. For students to be educated and be successful patient within and out of the country, English is the only key. All other subjects are written and taught in English, and it shows that English is the heart of every curriculum. To master other subjects, English is the only key that can unlock the barrier in other subjects. English is not our first language. We need to learn by heart in order to adapt to the global changes. In the past, during 1960s, the Western missionaries introduced English as an only medium of communication in schools. Students who were attending schools between 1960s and 80s were trained well to be fluent English speaker. When outcome-based education was introduced, standard of education declined till today. By comparing an educated person English in 1960s with those who graduate through OB system, there is a great difference in English competency. Command of English is declining at every educational institution in Papua New Guinea. English is no longer valued and its significance is no longer emphasized in schools today. Teachers today do not speak fluent English and write good English, so how can they teach their students to improve? As the saying goes, how can a blind man lead another blind man? Both will fall into the drain. Likewise, before our country collapses, we teachers need to encourage and enforce English policy in our schools to take back Papua New Guinea from going backwards. As a teacher, it is our responsibility to enforce this policy, to see changes in our schools and the country as a whole. We cannot pretend and let the problem continue to affect the future leaders of our country. If we do not enforce this English policy, then who will do it? We don't have to teach and wait for salary only, but we need to do something to improve our education system. Children learn better when they are small. Children learn their mother tongue in early childhood through social interaction without a proper teacher teaching them to speak. Likewise, when he or she comes to school and hears that everybody in the school speak English, they will easily pick up and adapt to it. All we have to do as teachers is to enforce the English policy in the school to ensure that everybody in the school is speaking English. Those who speak other language apart from English should be monitored and punished so that they can fear and speak English all the time. When children are grounded well in elementary and primary school with English language, they will have no problem when they go up to secondary and tertiary institution. The foundation of a house is a very important part of the building that is considered first. Therefore, elementary and primary school needs to be trained well with the effective English language to function properly or perform better in their educational journey. Thanks for watching.